I learned a new stack, allowing me to program full stack in only 1 month. How did I do that? Simply by not trying to remember what I was learning. As I told you in previous videos, I always learn by creating new small apps. It's the most efficient way to learn programming, because when you have a small app to create, you stay focused on the functionalities you want to implement. I needed to learn serverless by using Netlify, specifically on the serverless functions part. I wanted to learn actually to review, because I studied Airtable last year, and then as I didn't use it, I forgot it. And again, it's not a problem to forget, because our brain is wired this way. When we don't use a specific knowledge, we forget. And it's absolutely normal, so there is no reason to stress about this. So I needed to remember how to create, read, and update to an Airtable database. And I needed to figure out how to implement routing without using a specific front-end framework, because I wanted to do all this using vanilla JavaScript. And also I wanted to remember how to use specific CSS techniques, like this one, allowing me to make this menu responsive. So if I had wanted to memorize all these skills, I would have failed, because I would have tried to remember, for example, the syntax of the media query. I can never remember it. I never remember where the @ sign is. I never remember where it should be called, like a function, you see, with this opening and closing parentheses. I never remember specifically that, and I don't want to waste time memorizing that, because I know that I simply have to type into Google media query CSS, and I will see a page, and then by skimming through the page, I will see something that will really resemble what I want to do. Also, the Airtable documentation is extremely clear. As you can see, what you want to do is clearly organized in this menu. And when you scroll, you can see exactly what you want to do. Things like reading, retrieving all a record list, retrieving a specific record, creating records. It's extremely clear. It's brilliant, you see, using curl or using JavaScript. And why do you think guys at Airtable spend so much time creating such a good documentation? Because it's the secret of a product that works and that sells well, is when the documentation is clear, programmers will adopt it. So that's the proof you don't have to memorize, you don't need to remember things. And even during technical interviews, I would have said to the interviewer, okay, I know I have to use a media query, but I can't remember specifically the syntax. I would have Googled it. And the guy would have seen that I know how to find and how to learn new things, because during a mission or during a job, you will never know 100% of what you need to know to implement every functionality. That's why knowing how to figure out how to do something that you don't know to do, or that you forget, is an important skill. So another skill you have to learn that is complementary is to have a poker face. Don't look panicked because you don't know something. Simply say, okay, I don't remember this, so I will Google it, or I will go to Stack Overflow. As you see, there is no need to remember. And the advantage is by learning, by creating lots of small apps like this one. You see, it's an extremely simple app. You can create new tasks, you can display a toast when something went wrong, when you forgot to fill required fields. You can then list all your tasks. You can connect this, as I haven't implemented yet, but you know what? I will use Netlify to authenticate and to sign up first and then authenticate. So I won't waste time. It will take me maybe an hour, maybe 2. So I will succeed in a couple hours maximum. But if I wanted to remember things, every time I want to implement a new functionality, I would waste time. That means instead of simply implementing each functionality, I would try to remember everything that I use. And it's a total waste of time. By doing, you will progressively digest knowledge. You will develop an instinct, and you will use your previous small apps as reminders. That's why I have so many GitHub repos. You see, I have 261 repos, because I know that, for example, if I need to recall how to use MongoDB, I simply type MongoDB, and I will find all the projects where I use MongoDB. You see, I use MongoDB with Vue, with Netlify, etc. If I need to remember how to do something related to vanilla JavaScript, I simply type vanilla, and you see I can quickly find the functionality that I created regarding this vanilla JavaScript task. As you can see, I created a file reader in Electron. There I created a microlib, etc. So there is absolutely no need to remember. All the knowledge is in Google, the knowledge is in books, and a book is cheap. I mean, it's only 20 or 30 bucks. And you have an employer who's ready to pay you this amount per hour, and often more. So if the guy wanted your knowledge, he would simply buy a book, a $20 book. He wouldn't hire you. What an employer expects from you is being able to implement functionalities and not to remember stuff. I hope this will make you more relaxed concerning memorizing things, memorizing code. You don't have to. If you agree or disagree, please leave a comment. Subscribe to be warned when I will post the next video. I'll see you soon.